In this tutorial, we'll analyze the development potential of a 13.8 acre parcel of raw land in northwest Washington state that we'll call Easy Street Acres. If you're new to land development, you'll want to read our 50-page insider's guide that comes with the Proforma software. It covers land development basics, tips and tricks, and explains the process step by step. For this tutorial, there are maps and the completed Proforma for free on the Solved Examples page of the Construction Calc website. This tutorial will make better sense if you print those and follow along, but it's not mandatory. For clearest viewing, I suggest full screen mode in Windows Media Player, which can be selected in the Media Player lower right corner. To get started, open Excel and then open the Land Development Proforma. Your screen should look like this. For help and instructions, mouse over any red triangle There is additional help via the Help tab at the bottom of the screen. Much of a Proforma involves cost estimating. This program has lots of features to assist you with that. For example, there are two identical cost estimating templates besides the Proforma itself. Either can be used and then linked back to the Proforma using Excel's equals sign, or use them without linking or for different projects altogether. Cost Calc 1 and Cost Calc 2. They are identical. There is also a sheet of example costs. These were taken from actual projects in 2008 in Northwest Washington. Costs will likely be different in your neck of the woods, so use these as a guideline only. To help estimate loans and interest, there is a worksheet with 6 different loan calculators. These will work for land loans, construction loans, car loans, or any type of loan. Each cost section in the Proforma contains 20 rows. You cannot delete rows, but you can hide and unhide them. You can see in the feasibility and raw land purchase section only 3 rows are shown. To hide and unhide, you can use the plus and minus buttons in the left column, or to hide and unhide the entire group, all groups, use the 1 and 2 buttons in the upper left. You can also use the hide unhide rows macro in the upper right, and you can use Excel's format, row, hide, and unhide commands. The landowner is asking $15,000 an acre for his 13.8 acres. This includes all closing costs. That input is shown here. The rest of the Proforma is all filled out, including the cost codes. What those mean is shown on the pop-up note by the red triangle. Of particular interest will be the loans that we're assuming we'll need for this project. We're going to need a land loan of $138,000. We get that by knowing that our bank will only loan a loan to value of about 67%. $138,000 is 67% of the asking price. We anticipate that we'll pay interest at 7% over 5 years, an interest-only loan on that amount. The total interest over the life of the project is therefore about $48,000. We'll also need a construction loan. We're assuming that $500,000 is the amount we'll be able to borrow for that at 8% for 1 year. Estimating the duration of a construction loan is nearly impossible because loan draws depend on time spent permitting, constructability due to weather, and other unknowns. So we're assuming 1 year duration at the full amount of the loan to calculate the interest cost for the project, which comes to $40,000. An important point to consider at this point is the amount of cash we'll need to do this project. I've shown that here in the notes column, and it is the amount of loans less the total cost of our project, which is shown here. I'll redo that equation. In Excel, all equations start with an equal sign. The land loan plus the construction loan minus the total costs, which occurs in protected cell C393. I can't select it because it's protected, but I can write K393, and there it is. That is the amount of cash we'll need, $330,000 plus, to do this project. Here's a breakdown of our costs. This section here shows them. We've added sales tax to the taxable construction items, and we've applied a 5% contingency to everything but the land. Now we look at our income. We know that our local power company will provide a $1,300 rebate for each lot that is hooked up, and there are 18 lots. We also know that we've got 7 acres of merchantable timber that is worth about $2,000 gross per acre. We'll pay a consultant 15% to manage that timber harvest, and we'll pay about 1.5% excise tax. The costs for the logging are accounted for up above, and so will not show here. The lots that we create, we show the sales of those here, and we'll have premium lots, which will back up to open space, 12 of those. We figure or estimate that we can get about $130,000 per lot for those. The standard lots will back up to existing houses. We'll have 6 of those that we estimate we can get $110,000 for. We'll pay commission of about 4.5% on those sales, and state excise tax of about 1.5%. Now we look at our summary section. These are all the costs. This is all of the revenue. That is the difference, which shows a positive of about 1.1 million. Pretty good project. If we spread that over 5 years, that yields a 20+ annual rate of return on the gross amount spent for the project. We can also examine the cost per lot and the breakdown of those costs, and this graph shows those costs graphically. This graph shows our overall costs and our overall revenue, and the difference here, which in this case is profit. You could now print this Proforma or go back and try some different alternatives.